Hello friends, this is Kunal Pant from MISHAL Today. Friends, almost for the last 9 to 10 days, we have been reporting and have been sending the latest updates of this Russia-Ukraine war and this Russia-Ukraine conflict. Almost today is Sunday, 6th March 2022. The latest updates going on the rounds for the last many hours now has been that Putin threatens Ukraine statehood as Moscow sanctions the titan. Also, the Ukrainians run for their lives from the Russian bombs. The road on Kyiv's western edge bear witnesses on a human tragedy whose scale grows even greater as Russia's assault on the Ukrainian capital becomes more determined and indiscriminate. Ukrainian crisis will have consequences for the whole world, including for India-Russia ties. The Russian envoy says that the current situation has presented a window of opportunity for the Indian businessmen to expand their presence in Russia and that it would make a sense for India to take a closer look at the economic cooperation with Russia. Russia-Ukraine conflict escalation would cause devastating economic damage, says IMF, that is the International Monetary Fund. A surge in energy and commodity prices with the barrel of oil now close at $120 have piled to the inflationary hike that the world was already experiencing as economics that economies recover from the COVID-19 pandemic, and also ceasefire attempts in Ukraine fails amid Russian shelling. The struggle to enforce the temporary ceasefire in the southeastern post of Mariupol and the eastern city of Volnovakha showed a fragility of efforts to stop the fighting across Ukraine as the number of people fleeing the country reached almost 1.4 million just 10 days after the Russian forces invaded Ukraine. Financial Minister asked Blinken for jets air defense system. Now it's no secret that the highest demand that has been asked is in the fighter jets, attack aircraft and the air defense system. Dmytro Kuleba said he has told the US Secretary of State Antony Blinken in talks with the Ukraine-Poland border. Russia energy chaos triggers biggest market shock in decades. Bloomberg's gauge of raw materials was set for its biggest weekly gain since at 1960 as sanctions on Russia scared off buyers. Coal raked up an unprecedented 80% rally. European natural gas broke price records for oil futures, swung in the widest range in almost 3 decades. India tries to negotiate for a safe corridor in Sumi. It has been learned that the Indian diplomats and officials in New Delhi and in the conflict region are coordinating with Russian and Ukrainian authorities to help impose a ceasefire for a safe corridor for Indian students in Seoul. Nothing warrants material law in Russia. Putin says that the material law is imposed in a country in the events of the external aggression, including that in specific areas of hostilities, but as we don't have such a situation, and I hope we won't, and had been said that we will leave no stone unturned for safe evacuation of Indian students, which is very, very important. That has been told by the Indian envoy to Ukraine. Following the embassy's assurance, the students did not leave the eastern Ukrainian city that has been witnessing intense fighting between Russian and Ukrainian talks. After Ministry of External Affairs, that is MEA advisory, India in Sumi says confused whether to leave for border supplies are running out as evacuation for the shelling battered city remains a challenge for the Indian authorities. The students said they could no longer cope with the nail-biting cold, depleting food supplies and having to melt snow to get drinking water. Vladimir Putin warns third parties against creating Ukraine no-fly zone. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has pushed NATO to impose a no-fly zone over his country, warning that all the people who die from this day forward will also die because of the conditions, as Russian forces are bettering strategic locations in Ukraine. Now, the main focus now has been on evacuating the Indian students from Sumi. That has been told by Ministry of External Affairs MEA. The spokesperson said 13 flights are scheduled for the next 24 hours to bring back Indians under Operation Ganga, the evacuation mission launched following a Russian military offensive in Ukraine. And also, Vladimir Putin says Western sanctions are akin to declaration of a war. Speaking to female flight attendants in comments broadcast on state television, the Kremlin leader said Russia wanted Ukraine to be demilitarized, denied that Ukraine should have a neutral status. And also, the Indian wheat export pickup amid Russia-Ukraine war, says the Food Secretary Sudhanshu Pandey. Russia and Ukraine together account for almost a quarter of the global wheat supply. Their wheat crop will mature in August and September this year. As a result, global wheat prices have already gone up and are ruling in the range of almost 24,000 to 25,000 per ton. And in this Ukraine conflict, Aviation Ministry says 11 flights with over 2,200 Indians to operate on Sunday. The Ukrainians' airspace have shut since February 24 due to the Russian military offensive against it. Indian citizens who were stuck in Ukraine are being airlifted via its neighboring countries such as Romania, Hungary, Slovakia, and Poland. So, friends, this has been all the latest update which have been going for the last almost 12, 13, 14 hours. And as of today, that is March 6, Sunday 2022, this is Kunal Pant from MISHAL Today, Lucknow.